Welcome back to another episode of the Clinical Trials Guru. This is not a podcast. This is going to go straight on YouTube, maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram, maybe LinkedIn. Make sure that you guys subscribe, comment, like, and share. We need to break the algorithm so that we can get more awareness about clinical research because I'm tired of this being a secretive industry. So, today I got to ask the question, what does a clinical trial associate do? More specifically, what they asked me was, what can a clinical trial associate do to influence study quality? So, you guys know I hate job titles. Clinical trial associate can mean a lot of different things. So, clinical trial associate at a site might mean something completely different than a clinical trial associate at a CRO or at a sponsor. So I went to Indeed.com and I just typed in clinical trial associate. And what I'm getting are different things that are not even clinical trial associate. So when I go to clinical trial, let's try this on LinkedIn. See, I'm doing it in real time for you guys. I wish I could show you the screen, but it's too much camera work to make this a quick video. So I found on LinkedIn one CRO that has a summary for what a clinical trial associate is. So let's just use this one as an example. Again, this could mean a lot of different things at different places. Here's another one from a bigger CRO, so I'll use this one. The clinical trial associate focuses on supporting the day-to-day clinical operation activity associated with trial planning and execution as determined by the clinical research associates and our clinical study manager under the direct report of the director of clinical operations. These trial activities include trial documentation, meeting coordination, trial metrics, and status updates in accordance with protocol GCP and ICH SOPs. In addition, a clinical trial associate may participate in a departmental or functional infrastructure activities such as SOP updates, trainings, and initiatives. So responsibilities: support clinical trial meeting administration, coordinating and scheduling meetings, support trial tracking, like trial startup, clinical supplies, milestone, dashboard, closeout, contributes by creating or collaborating on study metric tools, supports trial master file tracking and management, has requested to collaborate with study team members to ensure completion of trial master file tasks, ensure proper trial documentation in the file management and document management system, binder management, which is creation, distribution, periodic review, and maintenance, support trial manual preparation, assist in the revision of SOPs. So look, you're assisting the in-house CRA a lot. You're helping. Let's go with support clinical trial meeting administration. So you're coordinating and scheduling meetings, distributing agendas. Minutes are very important in Latinos in clinical research. We have minutes. We have monthly meetings every month with the co-founders, and then Ashley Margot, who's one of our co-founders, she's the one who does the minutes. She's extremely organized. She keeps us on track. So if you're doing stuff like that, you're keeping the team on track by taking detailed minutes of the meeting and then sending it out to everybody. So that's one way you can affect the study, is you can make sure that it's very detailed on your minutes, concise but detailed. You don't want to waste people's time. You don't want it to be too long that they don't read it, but you want to make sure you cover everything of importance that was mentioned in or that was discussed in the meeting. The next bullet point, support trial tracking. So trial startup, clinical supplies, milestone dashboard, closeouts. So trial tracking. Where is site A? Where is site B? Where is site C? Where is site D? Where is site E? And on startup. Site A is missing. What is site A missing to get initiated? What is site B missing to get initiated? What's site C missing to get initiated? You're tracking all these things, and this is a very organized position. So one of the ways you can flow the study, you can affect the flow of the study and the study outcomes, which is the question that this person had. What can you do to influence study quality? Well, are you keeping good tabs on the sites and where they are in the startup phase, or on the inverse, where they are in the closeout phase? Are you keeping track of the supplies at the site? Remember, the monitors are supposed to sometimes in their reports put IP supplies. Okay, for IP accountability, that goes in monitoring reports. How much supply is left of the IP, or lab kit supply sometimes, or sometimes there's vendor portals where you can log in and see what the lab kit supply is for the studies. Maybe calling up the sites asking, do you have adequate supplies of the IP or the lab kits? If that SOP doesn't exist in your company, you should create one. Maybe you should create a list that you email to the sites and say, hey, give me a current inventory of your lab kits, of your IP. Trial master file. This is, remember, all the investigator site files for all the sites. Like I said, site A, B, C, D, and E, all the way through the alphabet if you want, depending on how many sites. They all have a regulatory binder. They all have an investigator site file. These are papers in there. These are documents in there, whether they're electronic or paper. They're documents, regulatory documents that need to be maintained, updated, and filed. So it sounds like, at least at this particular CRO, this clinical trial associate is supporting the trial master file tracking and management. What's missing at site A? What needs updated at site B? What does site C not have in there that the other sites have? Again, more organization. Documenting file management systems with process improvement approach. You're dealing maybe with vendors here as well. On average, a study has about 8 to 10 vendors. So you're probably managing documentation with those vendors. Support trial manual preparation, so like lab manual, ensure compliance with SOPs and guidelines for those things, and assist in the revision of your department's SOPs. So when a sponsor asks, hey, what's your SOP for this CRO? And they don't have an SOP that's satisfactory to the sponsor, you may need to revise it, or when regulations change and things like that. Qualifications for this position: bachelor's degree in nursing, health, or life science, and a minimum of 1 year related experience, or an associate's degree with a minimum of 3 years related experience. So here's a good position for people maybe don't have a bachelor's degree. Clinical trial associate. Functional technical knowledge and skills, teamwork, adaptability, effective written and verbal communications. If you want this job with no experience, you need to go intern at a clinic near you, a small one near you, and pick up on all these tasks and responsibilities that I mentioned. So that's how you can affect the conduct of a study. It's a very important role. It requires someone who's extremely organized. It even says ability to plan and organized and adapt, attention to detail, and deadline oriented. That's another thing I forgot. A lot of these things come with deadlines. Following up, persuasion, in addition to organization, is important here. Let me know what you think about this clinical trial associate. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.